Hello everyone, welcome to Ed Yourself. In this video, we are going to see the difference between the Scrum and Kanban. Alright, while we are creating a project in Jira, we either have to choose a Scrum template or a Kanban template, right? Now, what is the difference between a Scrum template and the Kanban template? And let's see with some small examples. I do not go much deeper, but I want to give a little bit exposure onto the differences between Scrum and Kanban. First, let's see in the theory. It don't last for more than 1 or 2 minutes of time, and then we open the paint and let's see some live example might be. Alright, when it comes to Scrum, if you have a large team with a more complex workflow or fixed time frames for completing the work, Scrum template would be the right one. You might have get confused. What is the workflow? What do I mean by fixed time frames? Let's wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. Let's open Paint and let's clearly understand what exactly is Scrum. Now, when it comes to Kanban, Kanban boards can be a great choice for ongoing IT support teams. Maybe if you are delivering a continuous flow of improvements. Again, you might get confused, right? When I say continuous flow of improvements. So now, in order to avoid that confusions, I quickly would like to navigate to the Paint so that I would like to pick each template as an example, and I want to let you know how the teams will make an use of the Scrum and Kanban. Now, let's talk about the Scrum project. Alright, imagine the project name of the Scrum is going to be software development. Alright, imagine that we do have a project in the Jira called software development. Alright, imagine that this is the software development project. Alright, in the software development project, there will be the team members, right? N number of team members. Maybe imagine that maybe there are 5 people. And imagine that there is a Scrum Master and even there might be a project lead, anyone. Alright, now imagine this particular person is a Scrum Master. Alright, so who is Scrum Master in the first place? We never heard about this particular terminology, right? I want to give a video link in the description where you will see the important terminologies that we have to use while we are working in Jira. There you can clearly understand what is exactly mean by Scrum Master. And for now, in this video, I would like to let you know what is Scrum Master. Alright, Scrum Master is a person that works in the team who will collect all the information from the customer or the client, and he will assign that particular work to the team members. So this particular person will have the clear knowledge on what's going on in the team from the beginning until the end. So now imagine we are working in a project called software development. So the Scrum Master that belongs to the software development project, he have to get some kind of works from the customer, right? Who's giving the work. So the customer might be in some even different states, might be from United States, maybe from Australia or Singapore. So imagine this is the customer. So what the Scrum Master will do? The Scrum Master will get in touch with the customer. It might be through Outlook or maybe some kind of meeting. So in the meeting, the customer will give what work needs to be done by this particular team members. So the Scrum Master will note down the requirements in any place. And after that, what the Scrum Master will do? he have to assign those work items to these team members, right? To work on those items. Now imagine if the customer gives a bunch of work, maybe 100 different works at a time. So the Scrum Master needs to place all the works in some particular place in the project, right? So always remember, in the Scrum project, we will be having an option called a backlog. Let me note down the name. So what exactly is a backlog in Jira? The backlog is a place where the new issues will be placed. Now when I say issue, the work items, and who will be giving the work items? The customer to the Scrum Master. So that in the Jira project, software development, the Scrum Master will create n number of issues, and all the issues will be placed in the backlog. If we create the issues on the Jira homepage, all the issues will go and store in the backlog page of the Scrum project. In our scenario, it is software development project. So if there are 100 issues that have been given at a time, all the 100 issues will be stored in the backlog. Now imagine there are only 5 team members in the project, right? Now if there are hundreds of issues being created and placed in the backlog, where the team members will work. So when it comes to Scrum project, there will be an active sprint in the project. The terminologies are very much important. So imagine that this would be an active sprint. When I use the word sprint, it is an iterative, which means it will be either for a span of 2 weeks, might be 3 weeks, or even for 1 month. So what exactly is sprint in Jira? The sprint can only be seen in the Scrum project. So out of 100 different issues that are in the Jira backlog, as per the discussion between the customer and the Scrum Master, they will pick some issues, might be 10 or 15 different issues from the Jira backlog. And just a second. They will pick some works that needs to be done in the next 2 weeks. They will take from the backlog and they will place it in the active sprint. And the Scrum Master will have the daily stand-up meetings every day in the project, right? Before the daily stand-up meetings, always remember, at the very beginning, at the very first day of the sprint, there will be a sprint planning meeting. In the sprint planning meeting, the Scrum Master will conduct the meeting and all the team members will be present in the meeting, so that the Scrum Master will pick each issue and he will be start assigning it to the team members, so that each team member might get 1 or 2 different issues and they have to work on those issues until the end of the sprint. The sprint might last for 2 weeks, right? So each issue will be assigned to each team member. Even some team members might get 4 issues, some team members might get 3 issues, some team members might get 5 issues, depends upon the complexity of work. Now for all the span of 2 weeks, the people in the Scrum project will be working on it. And always remember, once the sprint has been started, no one should add any issues into the sprint, and whatever the works that has been assigned to the team members in that current sprint will not be removed. So by understanding this, we clearly come to know that Scrum is suitable for the people or for the customer who are very much planned. So they clearly know what work needs to be done in the next 2 weeks of span. And in the Scrum project, there will be sprints, active sprints. And in the Scrum project, by default, there will be a backlog tab where all the issues will be stored. So these are the most important things that you have to keep in mind. Alright, now the Scrum example has been completed and I do not want to give much more examples. And always remember, how do they calculate how much work has been completed by the team members? Maybe if we have to take about 6 months of span, The Scrum Master can generate reports that are given by Jira in order to calculate in which sprint how much work has been completed, all those details. So even we do have some reports when it comes to Scrum project. So once a project has been created, there will be sprints by default, there will be a backlog, there will be the reports. So this is how the Scrum project works. Now I want to open another paint, and there I would like to talk about the Kanban. And before that, let's quickly navigate to the Jira project. We already created a Scrum project which is called a software development, right? So let's click on that. Now as soon as we click on the Scrum project, I can see a word active sprint. And if you have a look at the word active sprint, definitely you can say it is a Scrum project, because people in the Scrum project will work on the sprints. And by default there will be a backlog. So if any issue gets created using this particular button in the Scrum in the software development project, those issues will go and store in the backlog page. And we will be talking much more about the backlog, how does the backlog looks like, and how to create any issues in the upcoming videos. And also we can see the report option as well, and we will be exploring the remaining options in the upcoming videos again. So now let's quickly navigate back to the paint, and let's open another paint where I would like to talk about a Kanban project in Jira. Now this is a Kanban project. Alright. Now which kind of teams will make an use of the Kanban project? Now we clearly know when it comes to Scrum, it is planned, right? Which means the opposite of the planned is called unplanned. So the Kanban is unplanned. Alright, in the Scrum we clearly said there will be sprints. The people will be working on the active sprints, iterations, which might be for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even up to 1 month. When it comes to Kanban, there will be no active sprints. There will be no sprints at all. Alright, the third one. Now let's start from the back side. We are just seeing the differences, and then we talk about the process. When it comes to Scrum project, we said, right, by default whenever the project gets created there will be a backlog. In the Kanban there will be no backlog option by default. And optional, if we would like to enable the backlog, we can do that. And let's write down that too. If we want to enable the backlog, we can do that. Alright, in the Scrum project, whenever the issue gets created, it will store in the backlog, right? So from the backlog, we can move it onto the sprints and the people will be working on that. But when it comes to the Kanban project, whenever the issue gets created, since there is no backlog, where the issues will go and store. So the issues will go and store in the very first column of the Kanban board. So these are the basic differences between Scrum and Kanban in Jira. Now we clearly seen how does the team members work, how does the Scrum Master will take the work from the customer or the client, and how he will create the issues in the project, and how he will pick some issues and place it on the active sprint and assign it to the team members. Now when it comes to Kanban, let's take one of the example. Imagine this is a Kanban project and the project name is going to be maybe HR onboarding. Alright, now in the HR onboarding there might be some project lead, or even let's imagine simply the term called Scrum Master. Alright, so can anyone tell me what exactly is the HR onboarding is about? Now in any organization, if any new user comes in, there should be some kind of onboarding process, right? Which means we can never tell or we can never guess how many people will onboard each and every day. We cannot plan, right? In the next 1 month of time, 20 people will, we cannot, it's very hard to guess. So basically the teams like HR onboarding can make an use of the Kanban project, so that in the Kanban project there will be a Kanban board. Let me name it. Alright, whenever the new user comes in, the project lead or the Scrum Master who is taking care of the HR onboarding project will create one of the issue in this particular project. That issue will go and store in the very first column of the Kanban backlog. Maybe if there are 2 people comes in, it will be. So there will be no active sprint. Each and every issue that has been created in the Kanban project will go and store in the very first column of the board. When I use the word first column, what does it mean? The board will be something looks like this. So that whenever the onboarding process is going on, the Scrum Master or someone, they will be moving the issue from one status to another status based upon the board headings. Basically it will be something like selected for development, in progress, and done. Or even if we would like to customize as per the project requirement, we can do that. Maybe we can mention to do, and we can keep in progress, and we can have done. So based upon the column names, the Scrum Master will move each and every issue and he will be closing it. The flow is continuous. That is one of the most important thing that we have to keep in mind. So 5th one, continuous workflow. So these are the basic differences between Scrum project and the Kanban project. And now you might think which one is better. So it clearly says if the nature of the work is more of a queue, like with support request, when it says support request, it might be HR onboarding, right? Or maybe the IT support team. They can make a use of the Kanban project. So that is the time the Kanban might be a better choice. And for teams that are building a product, maybe developing a software with each and every work planned priorly, so and are very much planned in their work activities, that is the time the Scrum project might be a better choice. So these are the basic understanding and the differences between the Scrum project and the Kanban project. So if anybody in your organization are new to Jira, and if they come to you as a Jira admin, you should be capable to let them know the basic differences between how the Scrum project and the Kanban project functions in the Jira. Now as we did not create the Kanban, I would like to quickly go to Jira application and I want to create a Kanban so that we can clearly have a look at what is the difference between Scrum and project outlayers. So let me navigate to Jira. Now we are on the Scrum project, which is software development. We can see backlog, we can see active sprint. Now in the new tab, I want to navigate to the Jira and I want to quickly create one of the project. And now I would like to click on Kanban template. Let's click on use template. I would like to go with company managed. And here I want to enter the project name as HR onboarding. I want to leave the key as it is. I want to click on create project. A Kanban project has been created. Now when we have a look, I do not see an active sprint. I do not see a backlog. So that each and every issue that we create using the Kanban project will come and store in the very first column of the Kanban board. And as we can see, the name backlog displays as one of the column in the Kanban board. And if you want to enable the Kanban backlog, we can do it by using the board settings, and we will be talking about that in the upcoming sessions while we are discussing about the backlog that is related to Kanban project. And these are the basic differences between the Kanban and Scrum in Jira. I thank everyone for watching, and I want everyone to stay updated with many more videos. And please like, share and subscribe to our channel. That would be really helpful. And I see you all in the upcoming videos shortly. Thank you.